Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I've got up this Indy 500. Bought this thing a while ago. I'm just pulling it up here. See, it was playing when I bought it. Boot it up. This booting up, that's good. We got some errors. Well, let's jump in the menu real quick and see what our errors are here. Okay. Shooter lane 25. Right switch 53. Right lane 53. Shooter lane. Oh, it's bent. Switch is just stuck down in there probably. That's probably all it is. Yeah, it's been over pretty badly. Well, that's probably going to fix that one. 53 right lane. I don't know if they mean by the out lane. Let's pick this dude up and look. See, that one there would be the right out lane. Well, I hear it clicking anyway. I guess I could go into switch test. Let's do that. Okay, there's switch test. I'm pressing this right out lane. Well, that's 18. That's not 53. Okay. Well, the shooter lane's working now. Right lane. I wonder if there's one right down under there. I think. Can't hardly see. Yeah, it'd have to be the one at the very bottom here. Let me shut the door here. See if we can get underneath there. Get to it. Hold on one. Well, I picked the playfield up and pull this switch here, and that's 38. So I'm gonna have to get the manual out and find out what switch 53 is. So it's right above the rightmost between the in-lane guide, unless there's another. I don't think there is one. Yeah. Oh, it is that guide. Okay, that's what it is. It's gotcha. So it's that switch right there. It's 53. Yep. And I'm hitting it. It just probably hadn't been hit in a while. I don't think I have to push that abnormally down far. No. So that just, these way these switches test work, or the errors, if you haven't hit a switch in a certain number of games, it will throw up a code saying you check the switch, but that one was fine. This one was messed up. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So first thing, I don't know how well it comes through on the phone, but these lights in the back box are really dim. A bunch of them are missing. Maybe some of these would be flashers, I would guess. Maybe not. They don't look like there's any grounds for flashers. I think they're all GIs. Every single one of them. Yeah. There's the GIs, and so wow. I'm gonna turn this thing off. So you got a brand new Rotten Dog driver board. Well, not brand new, but it came with it it's fairly new. Yeah, that pin is toast. I bet it was like that when they put the driver board in there. Maybe not. Wow, it's like, it almost burns my hand to put my finger on there. That's how hot it is. So somebody put a lot of time and effort into redoing this, but they didn't really repair what was really bad, which is that the connector inside of there, it has to go. And with these IDC connectors, you got to basically get a new connector because you can't just replace the pins. Anyway, so yeah, see that thing, look at it, it's completely fallen out of there. So that's toast. They had nice heat shrinking. So we'll put a new connector on there. So even on that brand new connector, if I get it to focus, you can see the beginnings of some heat stress on that last pin. It's not as nice as the other ones. It's not horrible, but you got an almost new board. You put an old junky pin on there, it's going to start cooking it pretty short order. My plans for this game are to put LEDs on this thing. So I put a new connector, new pins on there, and that will fix it. And also the LEDs will keep it from happening ever again. That'll keep the current down. Well, normally an LED is about 10% as much draw, but those Comet, I usually use those 2 SMDs, so they've got 2 chips on, 2 diodes, light emitting diodes on there. So roughly say 20% the original draw of one of these 555 bulbs. So anyway, it cuts it way down. We didn't see any other errors. I haven't really gone through or done anything with this game, but it is absolutely filthy. I mean, but I don't see any wear on it. Wear meaning like where the paint's missing. I mean, it's just dirty. Look at these. Yeah, that rubber's done. It's gonna be a fun one to take apart. It's got layers on layers on layers. Yeah, I think mostly this is just gonna be a kind of a big shop job, really. Cabinet's pretty decent. Again, a little dirty, but got a little wear on the head. You know, if you're not rubbing, you're not grinding. Isn't that what they say? Maybe not in Indy. They don't like rubbing and grinding as much with the open wheel cars. But they do it. So I guess I'll stop here, and maybe in the morning I'll start tearing this thing down. Well, I went ahead and repin that sucker with some Trifricons. I don't think I got it quite on there. It almost looks like it's off because that base sticks out further, but there's no pin in that last one. That's rotten dog, right? I did put a plug in the open one. They're still a little bit dim. I would say they're a little bit dim. This is probably a burn up bulb. Yeah, that one's just a dead bulb. Yeah, some of these are silvered. They start burning out. So that's part of it. Yeah, a bunch of these bulbs are pretty bad. Anyway, again, I'm gonna put LEDs in all this. They'll pop just for comparison's sake. Yeah, this is gonna look nice. All right, it's been a couple days. I'm back on this Indy 500. About the only other thing I've done to it off camera was this little opto right there that shoots down. It basically, when this thing spins around, this turbo, it looks through that little hole. There's the other side of the sensor and measures if the ball is present. And that wasn't working. And it was literally this bracket. It was just slightly out of alignment. So it just needed a little bit of a nudge. I put a pin down there to try to block it. I was just testing it. And sometimes when I touch it, it would trigger. So I realized it was just out of alignment. So that's all that was. But today, what I'm gonna do is just strip it. The game, believe everything on the game works, short of one. Well, there's a couple of lamps that are not, but I haven't done anything with the bulbs. I have LED the back, but I'm going to LED the rest of it. But I'll do that once I get it stripped down. There's one flasher over here that's not working. I'll get that when I tear it apart. The flippers are. There's a lot of slop in the bushings, probably plenty of slop in the linkages too. I'll rebuild those, but I think everything else works. I haven't tested every switch, but I played the game and I believe most all of the ones I could easily reach with my fingers. I tested them. Once I get it stripped down, it'll be easier to get the rest of them. But I'm gonna put this on time lapse and strip it down and give this thing a thorough shop job and get everything cleaned up and looking good. All right, so I don't know exactly how long that took. It's 9:15. I think I got in, I think about 30, 45 minutes. The stripping down is the easy part. Putting all this crap back where it goes, that's the hard part. Probably could have kept a little more organized, but it won't be too bad. I got a lot of pictures and I do have a good video. But yeah, you really can't see how dirty it is until you get it stripped apart. Although I will say, once you get them cleaned up, man, it makes a big difference. I mean, you can see the clean more than you can clean the dirty. I guess what I'm trying to say. Like all this stuff, you really can't see it very well from the back when you're back here because there's all this stuff on top of it. You got ramps and all this stuff. But once it's cleaned, then it sparkles, and you can the sparkle you notice. The lack of sparkle you don't notice as much. See, a lot of times these games, this game obviously looked dirty. It was nasty, but it'll look more clean than it looked dirty. I guess if that's kind of a weird thing to say, but that's kind of the way it feels to me when I go through these things. Yeah, there's ball trail. So just for fun, I got a little novice and just cleaned up that one little spot there. It looked like that before, and just in just a couple seconds. And I didn't clean it much, just a little bit. So I think this thing is going to clean up super nice. I don't think there's any wear anywhere on it. I mean, there's a little bit there. Well, yeah, that's pretty common. I don't know if the ball drops right there, maybe. But it is absolutely filthy. So I'm going to start cleaning this with just some naphtha, which is the same thing as lighter fluid. You think a lot of people would think that's like harsh. It's actually one of the more benign things you can use. Maybe the most benign cleaner you can use. Super, super safe. It's a really good solvent. You probably want to protect your hands. It dries my hands out very, very badly. So I usually use a rubber glove with the naphtha. So anyway, I guess I'll get after that. Okay, so that was the first pass with just naphtha. And honestly, some of the dirtiest areas, if you look, the parts that look the worst, this is underneath the guide here. So this is an area that never got cleaned, never got waxed, and was just dirt accumulation. Maybe since this thing was made, I'm not sure this thing has ever been taken apart. So that's gonna need some Novus to get the shine back there. It's still dirty. I'm gonna take another pass with the naphtha still. It's still pretty dirty. I mean, there's still plenty of dirt. I just, my arm gave out. I need a break. Just first pass. You still see a ball trail here, but it's much subdued. Again, I kind of gave up on the scrubbing. My hand and arm were getting tired. On these plastics, I don't really bother with the naphtha too much because the Novus works so much better on the plastics. Same with these targets. I'll get those mostly with the plastic, with the Novus 2. Need to get that. Anyway, I'm gonna give my arm a rest for an hour or so, and then I'll take another pass with the naphtha, and then I'll get on it with the Novus. And I think this thing will, like I said, that was about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes maybe, and I think this thing's gonna work. Okay, so I made my first pass with the Novus 2. It's starting to look a lot better. Cleaned up these plastics a little bit. I'm still gonna have to clean them up some more. And the thing about the Novus, it's a polish more than a cleaner, and it does leave a residue. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go back with the naphtha, clean that up, and then you get to wax it. So this is looking a lot better. This trails, you can see it, but it's almost gone. And you really can't see this at all underneath there. So it doesn't really matter. You do want it clean though. You don't want the ball getting dirty, going back there and spreading it around. This is looking a lot better. That area under the guide here, you see I missed a couple of spots, but I'm going to make another pass. That Novus just really got that gunk up where the solvent wasn't doing it. It needed a little bit of abrasive to kind of work that stuff loose. A little bit of polish. You can't feel it obviously, but it's super smooth now. So I'm going to make one more pass with the Novus. Looks like I missed a whole spot right here. It's real dirty. Yeah, I didn't get that. At least not very well. Here's some more that I didn't get very well. So I'm going to do another Novus pass, and then I'm going to polish it with some Mother's polish, it's actually much finer than the Novus 2, and it really puts a luster down. So I'll do the Novus 2 one more time, and then move over to the Mother's polish. All right, so I'm done with my second pass of Novus. At least I think I'm done with it. I might see some spots here that are really bad. The ball trail is all but gone back here. You can see the change in luster mostly, where it's kind of worn a little bit through the clear coat. Not too bad. The areas, so there's mylar in some of these areas, like a little harder to see. And the mylar itself is softer than the wood, I believe it is anyway. And it doesn't clean up quite as well. I think it just gets scuffed, and then a little bit of the dirt gets in the scuffs. It comes up, but it's the colors are a little bit muted through the mylar just because it's kind of gets a little bit abraded. But the alternative is to not have the mylar and lose all your paint, so it's definitely worth having. This one's got mylar in different places. It's got one there. You can see that patch. See, it didn't clean up quite as well as the areas that doesn't have mylar adjacent to it, but it's good we have the mylar. Oops, I didn't get that spot cleaned up. Had a dab of Novus 2 there I was using to clean these stand-up targets. But it looks a bunch better. So I'm gonna, I may clean that up a little bit. That's pretty nasty because that thing, occasionally you kind of see the side of it when it pops out. I'm gonna touch this up a little bit of Novus, and then the next thing I'm gonna do after that is I'm gonna use this Mother's Pure Polish. If it was on the Novus scale, it'd be like a 1.5 or 1.25. And the Novus 1 has no polish at all. It's just a liquid. Novus 2 is quite fine polish. Novus 3 is kind of coarse, medium coarse. This is much finer than the Novus 2. So I'm gonna use a little of that, and it will really make this thing pop. It'll really polish it up great. It may help a little bit more on some of their mylar sections. We'll see. So I'm gonna make one more pass of cleaning this thing. I normally don't use this one, but sometimes I do. This is Mother's 2. So Mother's numbers, they go 1, 2, 3 versus like Novus goes 3, 2, 1. Not that you're normally gonna use 3 on a playfield. It's a little too much. But this stuff is super, super, super fine. And frankly, a lot of times you can't even hardly tell you've used it on a playfield. But I'm gonna just do the center area here and see if I can gloss it up even a little bit more. So now I've gone through, well, I started with Naphtha, then Novus 2, then Mother's Polish 1, then Mother's Polish 2, and it's pretty shiny. And there's still actually a little bit of residue from all the polishes. So I will next clean it again with a fresh clean rag and some naphtha just to get rid of any remaining polish, and then it will get waxed. But what I'm going to do next, I was not going to rebuild these, but this playfield turned out better than I thought it might. So I'm going to go ahead and tear off those pop bumpers and put all new plastics on there, which means, you know, cutting the wires from the bottom. These are actually flashers, but same sockets. In any case, these skirts are, I tried cleaning them, and they're cleaner, but they're not going to look as nice as brand new ones. I don't have these orange skirts here in stock. Got everything else, but I don't keep orange ones around because orange ones are kind of weird. So I'm going to order some of those. It's going to delay putting this thing back together, which kind of stinks because it's best to put them back together sooner than later. All the parts are easier to remember where they go. But in any case, so I'll call Steve this afternoon. I'll probably, well, it's a Tuesday. I'll probably have them by Saturday. So Like I said, the Zippo lighter fluid I'm using is actually just regular old naphtha. I like these little cans as an applicator, and I just keep refilling them. That little spout is really handy to apply it onto the playfield, and I just refill it with the big jugs. Oops, a little overflow. Yeah, I usually don't get up much with that last naphtha, but you can see a little bit of the residual stuff, and it just takes a second. It is super slick, and it's really clean right now. So it almost feels like it's waxed, but it's not. It's not waxed at all. I mean, if there whatever wax was there is completely gone at this point. It is ready for wax though. So a game like this has got a nice play field. I usually use the Mother's Pure Carnauba. If it's if it's a playfield that's got a lot of wear on it and a lot of grooves in it, I'll use the cleaner wax because still needs a little bit of cleaning. And the wax can provide it, but this one doesn't. It's smooth, it's clean, it's ready for just a regular wax. I shouldn't say regular wax. This is like the premium Carnauba. So here we go. So I finished wiping off that last layer of wax. This game looks super good. Pretty happy the way it turned out. Uh, so I'm gonna strip all these bulbs off. You see, you see the ones that they could kind of get to, and the ones that were like 30 years old. Anyway, it's going to be all LED'd. I think this is with the flasher that was not working. Make sure all these flashers, all the bulbs are working. I'm gonna put on clear rubbers. Gonna order those 3 skirts for those. Get some new parts for the flippers. Those new parts for the pop bumpers underneath. I get them working. They were working, but they were kind of clunky. They'll be snappy when we're done. And then all this nonsense. All this will get washed and or replaced. So I may just put some new posts in there. They're cheap enough. And the rest of it's all going to get washed. See these wire racks. The whole thing, just throw it in the ultrasonic. Same with this. The plastics you can't put in the ultrasonic, so they got to be taken apart and cleaned with Novus. Actually, the clear parts of this, just the painted ones, the clear parts can go on the ultrasonic and they will come out looking great. The painted ones, you've just got to clean them with Novus 1. Same with all the regular plastic, just some Novus 1, and they'll clean up super great. That thing is nasty. But anyway, and the same with the ramps. The ramps on this game are actually pretty good. I don't think they're not busted. Well, there's a little piece busted out of that corner there. It looks like, but gosh, you couldn't even see that in the game. I thought they were all perfect, but they're filthy. So just needs a good cleaning, and all of them need to be cleaned up. So it's a lot of detailed cleaning yet to go on all the pieces and parts. Whatever I can put in the ultrasonic goes in the ultrasonic, and what I got to clean by hand, I'll clean by hand, and then repopulated all this, and it'll take about 3 or 4 times to put it back together as it did to take it apart. That's for certain. So I'm going to end the video here, and if you like the video, click like, and if you want to see more of them, hit that subscribe button. Adios, and have a good one. Just a little addendum. Pulled these out of the ultrasonic. I mean, they're just like new. These pop bumpers, I was thinking I might swap them. They are like new. They were just filthy. I thought they were like an off red. They're actually orange. Who'd have thought? These ramps, I really couldn't stick the whole thing in there. I just stuck the tip in there. They are crystal clear. There's a little bit of haze. That haze is just the soap solution I've got in there that dried on there. You see how dirty. Actually, I dipped this in too. So in between, like this end I couldn't put in at all because it's got the silk screen on the bottom of the ramp. It's got that switch. But I dunked this end and I dunked that in, and I mean, it's just like clean, clean, clean. So the rest of it I'm gonna have to clean by hand. I won't be able to clean it quite as good as that, although this will clean up a little bit more with some Novus 1 that'll get that soap residue off there. But they're gonna be pretty nice. Yeah, some of these stainless parts, my gosh, like these, the whole thing goes in there. This ramp here, I just stuck it in about to there, and from the other side to about there, so it's just that center part I got to clean by hand. This thing, just like this thing, I don't know if this was pretty filthy. So yeah, that's gonna work out pretty good. You see me paying attention to all this stuff in the cart, and now he's thinking, ooh, maybe I should pay attention to it too. Maybe there's something in here that's good. Looking for some food. I'm about partway through LED in this Indy 500. I think I'll be able to tell which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. Yeah, that'll be pretty easy to figure out.